Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about a cinema-grade LED light, the DENGWEI 600 bi-color. Last time, we talked about the DENGWEI 300 Bi. Today, we are introducing this 600 watt version. 600 watts is quite powerful. Let's take a look at its appearance and size. It is indeed very large. Let's compare it with lights of other wattages. Then you'll see 60 watt, 300 watt, 600 watt. The difference in the size of the cod chips is huge. First, let's look at the appearance of this light. The overall design is quite rugged. 600 watt bi-color with high power. This thing looks massive. This position on the top features some cutout heat dissipation vents. From here, you can see those huge heatsink fins inside. The Bowen's mount. These latches are all made of metal. The overall build quality looks very solid. There is a protective cover in front of the cod chip. You might often hear that, putting a protective cover in front of a cod chip, but you have to remember that 600 watt generates a lot of heat. So, in reality, this component needs to be made of a very high temperature resistant material. The handle at the back is much better than the one on the previous DENGWEI 300 model. Of course, because the positioning of this product is different. At the back, there are still two knobs for adjusting color temperature and brightness. Below that is a multi-function button. Over here is a switch for adjusting the fan speed. And the power socket. Let's talk about this adjustment handle. When I reviewed the 300 last time, I said that was a bit small. This handle is much larger and fits perfectly in your hand. It doesn't feel cramped or uncomfortable anymore. One thing worth mentioning is, even if you completely loosen the locking screw on this handle, the damping mechanism is still active. According to the official specifications, there is a sliding damping structure inside. The handle is fully loosened, right? After loosening, this joint isn't completely loose or floppy. It still has a certain amount of resistance. It feels similar to a tripod head, where there is a controlled amount of drag, so you don't have to worry that when you loosen the handle, especially with such a high-powered light. And with large accessories attached to the front, like a deep parabolic softbox or a standard softbox, even if you fully loosen it, it still has enough damping to support the weight. The fan function is a bit similar to a 2-speed adjustment system. For example, right now we are in low gear. The maximum brightness it goes up to is 25%. If we turn it down, let's set the brightness to 16%. Okay, now let's switch to high gear. In high gear, for example, there's no lower limit marker. But there is one at the top, right? Alright, let's turn it up. Now it's at 66%. Now let's switch back. It remembers and goes back to 16%. If I press it again, it goes back to 66%. So this button, to a certain extent, acts a bit like a brightness calibration and memory function. When the fan is low, it's limited to below 25%. It can't go above 25%, right? But with this button, it only has a rotating function now. It lacks the press function that was on the original 300 model. Let's take a look at its brightness. Officially, without a standard reflector, it outputs 23,600 lux. If you add a standard reflector, it reaches a terrifying 100,000 lux. These numbers might just sound like numbers to us, but later we'll do some real-world shooting to see what this kind of intensity actually means for our photography. Short dramas are very popular right now, aren't they? Everyone knows that a 600 watt high-powered light is necessary for certain scenarios, because sometimes you are limited by distance. Unlike shooting indoors, right? If you are shooting close up, whether it's a B-roll shot or a talking head, you don't need a lot of power. But when you are on location, the distance between your light and the actor could be 4 or 5 meters, 5 or 6 meters, or even further. A 200 watt or 300 watt light just can't cut it. Basically, a 600 watt light is needed to control the scene. The DENGWEI offers good value for money. So for some low-budget short drama production teams, it is quite suitable. although I don't know its exact release price yet. It will definitely be much more affordable than those first-tier brand lights on the market. That's for sure, because the 300 buy we talked about earlier offered great value. DENGWEI's usual strategy is to focus on cost performance. They give you the core features, like CRI color rendering index, light intensity, heat dissipation, these essential functions. They deliver these well, maybe in other non-core areas. They control the cost to bring the price down. In reality, not every photographer works on film sets. So, suppose I am a still photographer. How useful is this light for me? To a certain extent, it can replace a flashlight. Why do I say that? For example, a regular 200 watt or 300 watt continuous output light. It's not in the same league compared to a flashlight. I mean, for still photographers. For example, when shooting products, sometimes we need a slightly larger depth of field. For instance, we often need to stop down the aperture to around f10. If you stop down to f10, many of these continuous lights with 100 to 100 watt just can't handle it, unless you are extremely close. With a flashlight, stopping down to around f10, with a 300 watt flash, you might not even need full power, because the intensity of that instantaneous flash is very high. So, for a still photographer using this 600 watt light, if I turn it on at full power, what is the actual usable aperture, combined with a normal, safe shutter speed? How far can we go? Right now, we have some books here. We will use this area as our metering region. Let's see what our light and shutter combinations can achieve in our daily shooting range. In this natural light environment, currently only this one light is on, and this is a 90 centimeters deep parabolic softbox. It is about 60 centimeters away from the product. The depth of the 90 centimeters deep parabolic is 70 centimeters. That means the distance from the light source cob to the subject is about 1.3 meters. This is close to our daily shooting setup. For this light, adding a honeycomb grid and a deep parabolic will reduce its intensity. But this is our actual daily usage scenario. Later, we will use this area as the metering point. Let's see, without using a tripod, and with image stabilization off, what kind of light value exposure we can get, turning this 600 watt light onto 100% full power. Now using a 50mm lens, shooting with side lighting, using a safe shutter speed of 1/50th of a second, we can stop the aperture down to f8. The focus is at this position on the book's spine. And as you can see, we can achieve a relatively ideal depth of field. The image has both bright and dark areas that are basically balanced. It is not affected by whether the object is white or black. In this side lighting scenario, next, let's talk about the control of this light. The knob controls on the back of the unit itself are pretty straightforward, so nothing much to say there. It also comes with a remote control and a mobile app. For control, let's talk specifically about this remote. First, regarding pairing the remote with the light. For example, after turning on the light, if you long press the step key on the remote, the light will react at any time by flashing a few times. But don't be mistaken. This does not mean the remote is connected to the light. Actually, you need to turn on the light using the switch here. After turn on this switch, and within 3 seconds after turning it on, long press the step key to pair it correctly. That is how you fully and correctly pair the remote. Then all the functions on the remote can be used smoothly. Another point, this time the application digitizes everything for you. For example, if I want a specific Kelvin value, I can see it very precisely. I suggest to the official DENGWEI team that you could adapt this application to your entire range of lights. If users only need to download one application, the overall user experience would be much better. Of course, this is just my suggestion, because I don't know. if the communication protocol between the application and the light body would make cost control difficult, or if there are other factors involved. Of course, for a light that is very affordable. I'm not sure about their specific decoding or operational costs. Let's talk a bit more about 600 watt lights. This is actually quite a high power output. Many film sets use this wattage, right? A 600 watt light can be considered to have reached an professional grade. What does that mean? It means we need to talk about its safety. You need to be aware that it generates a lot of heat. Unlike smaller power lights, like 300 watt, 100 watt, 200 watt, or even 60 watt, you can use almost any accessory in front of those without worry. Like a spherical softbox, or a small deep parabolic, if you place them at this distance, it basically gets very hot to the feeling. Especially if you add this standard reflector. At this distance, it gets very hot. So, for a 600 watt light, I do not recommend using small spherical softboxes. I suggest you either use a standard reflector to bounce light onto a large soft cloth, or at the very least, use a 90 centimeters deep parabolic on it. Firstly, it looks visually balanced with a large light body. Secondly, the soft cloth inside is far enough away to ensure good lighting results, and safety is also higher. This is a reminder for everyone when using this light. Of course, saying it gets so hot it causes an open flame is an exaggeration. It won't happen. It's just that the temperature is very high. Everyone should still be careful when using it. The advantage of a bicolor light is that the color temperature is adjustable. We can freely adjust and combine it. For example, the background here is a bit blue. I achieved by putting a small blue gel in front of the light. Actually, the light's color temperature is already set to 6,500,000. For my main key light in front, I am still using 5,300,000, so using the gel is one aspect, and the other dimension is that the color temperature is relatively high. So this light helps in expressing the blue background effectively. Alright, today, we will end the sharing here.